feel the race like never before in 360 degrees of full surround sound. Get ready to hear the big picture, because the only way to experience the full impact of HD is with TNT Sports and audio from Sony HD. Cars sitting on pit road. The officials indicating the drivers are ready. They'll roll off, then we'll take you through the starting grid, starting with the front row of Ryan Newman on the pole and David Stremme. Then it's Kevin Harvick and John Wood in row 3, Greg Biffle and Casey Kane.
Row 4, Kyle Busch, Chad Chaffin, Reed Sorensen, and Martin Truex in row 5. Row 6, Paul Menard and Regan Smith with another great qualifying run.
Row 7, Joe Gibbs racing, J.J. Yelly on the inside, Denny Hamlin on the outside, Nemechek and Matt Kenseth with a couple of Nextel drivers in row 8. Elliott Sadler, Carl Edwards, another group of Nextel drivers.
Back in row 10, Aaron Fike and the man second in the championship standings, Clint Bowyer. Former champion David Green shares row 11 with Kevin Hamlin. And back in row 12, Jamie McMurray from the Nextel Cup Series next to Robert Presley.
Row 13, Jerry Robertson, Bobby Labonte, Johnny Sauter, and Dave Blenny in row 14. And row 15, Kenny Wallace and Adrian Fernandez.
Row 16, Leffler on the inside, Stacy Compton. Outside row 17, Justin Labonte and Anthony Foyt. AJ Foyt the fourth. Jason Keller, Tony Raines back in 18th row.
And walk you through the rest of the field. There's Rusty Wallace back there in row 19 with Ashton Lewis Jr., Curtis Davis, and Sterling Marlin in row 20. Todd Woodine in row 21 along with TJ Bell. And Johnny Benson will start 43rd here in the NASCAR Busch Series this afternoon. BP getting ready to jump on the radio, show you the guys that failed to qualify, and Clint Bowyer and Kyle Busch will have to go to the back of the field. Bowyer, of course, in a backup car, Busch for an engine change.
Let's try to talk to Carl Edwards. Carl Edwards, Benny Parsons, you got me?
I'm clear, Benny.
All right, you won in Atlanta. How different is this racetrack than Atlanta Motor Speedway?
Well, the racetrack's a lot alike, both of them, and just the difference is with cars at Texas, there's not as much racing room, at least not at the beginning of the race. So we're going to be fighting for that bottom groove. I don't think you'll see me up there against the fence early in the run.
Do you think you can get the groove to move up after about 100 miles?
I'll tell you what, if we aren't going forward, I'll be trying to work in the top, you know. I know Casey Kane runs up there a little bit. I mean, some of these guys are going to be up there, so if they go, we'll go with them.
Well, Carl, all I can tell you is do the best you can, all right?
All right, we're going to try to get some more wins for the 15,000 charter associates out there. They deserve it.
Good luck to you.
Thanks, Benny.
BP, when you talked to him during the commercial, what did he tell you?
He said, I said, is it okay if I talk to you on the pace lap? He said, BP, you can talk to me 3 wide coming off turn 4 anytime you want to.
Okay, keep that in mind, okay?
But I don't think we'll try it.
Probably not.
You can talk to him. I'm not sure he's going to be talking to you back.
Let's get you down on pit road. Final stories before we go green. Here's Dave.
And Bill, Matt Kenseth only 2 wide right now in the 9 car. He makes his 9th Texas Busch Series start. He won this race back in 2004, and this season for Matt in the Busch Series, very good. 10 top 10s in 12 starts so far. Only qualified 16th best, but the crew says a very good race car that will be very race competitive today. Matt?
Dave, Kyle Busch has already had a very productive weekend here at the Great American Speedway, finishing 3rd last night in the Craftsman Truck Series race. Now, he qualified 7th, but like Bill mentioned, he will have to drop to the back. They lost a lot of time during practice with the engine change, but he said, look, we've got a very good car, and I am going to try to win my 2nd Busch Series race this season. Coming from the back, it should be very exciting. Keep an eye on the 57 car. To Marty.
Matt, a couple changes this week for Kevin Harvick in the Busch Series. Todd Barrier, his Nextel Cup Series crew chief, has now moved to the Busch Series team in an effort to make the 2 teams communicate a little bit better and be on the same page so that they can help each other out. But a great racetrack for this to happen for Kevin. 3 of his 3 Texas races, he has 3 top 10s here. He loves this racetrack. He told me today, not only do we have a top 10 car, we have a car that can win the race if I can just beat that 39 and that 9 car, Ryan Newman and Matt Kenseth. Alan?
Well, Greg Biffle is tired of finishing 2nd, especially to Ryan Newman. Biffle has finished 2nd in 4 of the last 7 races. Today he's looking for his 2nd win of 2005 from 5th position. He feels like he's got a very good race car. Bill?
Thanks, Alan. You guys have a great race down there this afternoon. It is a spectacular day here in Fort Worth. Not a cloud in the sky, sun is out, a little breezy, and headed for what could be a record high temperature for this date of about 84 degrees.
Boy, what a lonely feeling Clint Boyer has, having to go to the very end of the field to start this race, because under NASCAR rules, if you go to a backup car, use a different car than you qualified, you've got to go to the back.
And he lost his car on his second lap of qualifying. And Benny, not only the track, but the skill level in this field is going to make his task very difficult today.
Well, that's right. If it's a NASCAR Nextel race where drivers have been to racetracks like this 20, 30 times, he wouldn't be so bad. But some of these drivers, just their first, second time at this speedway, and you really don't know what they're going to do.
There you see the current weather. The air temperature 85 degrees, track temperature 91, but the wind gusting up to 27 miles per hour. It has been windy all week here in Fort Worth, and that will be a factor.
It will, Bill, because the wind is blowing directly down the backstretch. So these cars, as they enter turn 3, they're probably running 5 miles per hour faster than turn 1, and they've got to back off a little bit earlier. Otherwise, they go in 3, they're going to just go straight up the racetrack, not be able to turn the car.
And with 43 cars all taking the green flag on a 1.5 mile track, there's really not a lot of racing room when you're heading for turn 1. But on this track, under these conditions, it's going to be a real battle, very tricky getting in there.
Everybody's going to have to be very careful on the start of this race. And as Benny said, going into turn 3 is going to be the worst spot, because that wind is blowing there. It's going to be hard to get the cars to turn. So this guy's going to have to get settled down as quick as possible.
Ryan Newman starts on the pole looking for that 6th win. There's Casey Kane, won here in the spring.
Clint Boyer on board with him as he starts at the back. Lights out atop the pace car, means this time by green flag.
Tomorrow, 500 miles for the stars of the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series. Today, about 100,000 people here at the Texas Motor Speedway. 300 miles for the NASCAR Busch Series live on TNT. Leads lap 1. Harvick thought about trying to take the lead in turn 1 right after the green flag.
Yeah, so far the bottom groove is definitely the place to be. Guys up on the high side are just trying to find a hole to get down on the bottom, because there's guys losing a lot of time in that high groove right now.
14 car David Strummey started on the outside pole and just cannot get to the bottom of the racetrack. Cars keep coming up on the inside. He's falling back, what, Bill, 7th spot already?
Yes, sir.
There's the spot he needed right there.
Thank goodness I'm able to get to the inside.
Go ahead, Walter.
No, just to say, like I say, you see cars up there already, and as these cars start to lose the handle, they will start sliding up the racetrack, and I really think we'll see guys working up the middle of the racetrack before this thing's over.
There's Truex Jr. in that 8 car, the championship leader.
That's 18, J.J. Yaley, that they pushed up in the outside groove, and he started to lose spots.
And that's a good term. They do push you up there, don't they?
They leave you with no choice. What's the mood in the Truex pits, Alan?
Interesting. We need for guys that are leading the championship. His crew chief Kevin Mannion, I talked with just before the start of the race, looked kind of tired. Like you could see some of the pressure of trying to win this title beginning to mount. Kevin Mannion told me that Martin Truex has been, as he described, on the chip. Racer's description for being up there on that rev limiting chip. They really want to have a good day today, and they know these 1.5 mile tracks have been tough for him lately.
And the thing that he's concerned about, and I know Truex is concerned about, yesterday after practice, they changed everything in the 8 car because Truex was not happy with the way it was handling. I walked by the car, and one of the crewmen said, at least the paint job is the same. Everything else is different.
Carl Edwards in that 60 car behind the 8. And then there you see Truex in the 8. Now we're looking for Clint Boyer in the 2 car. Second in the championship standings, and there he is. Now the start at the back of the field. Lost his car in qualifying, Marty.
Yeah, Bill, I'll tell you what, though, any longer you don't bring a bad backup car. These guys, this backup car was terrific this year. It's raced 3 times, has 3 top 5 finishes. sat on the pole at Pikes Peak, led the most laps, finished second there. They tested it at Kansas, really thought about using it for that race, but decided to go with a newer car. So anymore, you unload a backup car, usually it's a very good car, especially when you're battling for a championship.
Yeah, and it didn't used to be that way, Mark. There's a lot of times guys didn't want to. I mean, that car on the trailer, the second one was an anchor. That's all it was. It was just there. But these guys they do bring good cars. And I think Boyer right now he's got to get through these inexperienced drivers and as fast as he can, because if trouble happens here, it's going to happen fast, and tough to stay out of a wreck.
Runs in 36th. It's Ashton Lewis Jr. So Boyer with his hands full, trapped behind those two cars. Now tries the high side.
Well, that didn't work.
No, you can hear him get out of the gas.
Well, I think he's driving cautiously.
Yes.
It would be a good word to express how he's driving. 3 wide.
I was going to say not everybody is doing that.
Jason Keller on the inside, the best place to be if you're going to be 3 wide.
Keller in the 35. There's Carl Edwards trying to move forward. Runs 10th. Marty.
I talked to Carl about this race car. He said, I think it's going to be loose for the first couple of laps, but once it comes in, this thing's going to be so good. Felt very confident about it in race trim. I asked him if it was as good as it was in California when they took it to victory lane. He said, not quite, but awfully close. Alan?
Paul Menard in that 11 car. I asked him this morning about his chances to win today. He said he thought they had a good car. He knows the competition is tough, but he feels he and his team are ready to win. Right now, just kind of hanging in these opening 10 laps.
Somebody that's not going forward.
A little tight in the center, buddy. That's what's hard.
That was Edwards on the radio.
I was just talking about the 14 is not going anywhere, Marty.
Yeah, Wally, and this was a little bit of their concern. They knew the car would qualify well. They wondered how good it would be in race trim. David just came on the radio and said, guys, this thing is extremely tight, which means when he tries to turn it, the car doesn't want to agree with him. It won't turn. He said, especially off of 2, and I'm curious, maybe is the wind playing a little bit of that factor, Wally?
Yeah, he's, I mean, I don't know what to... I think it's more handling than anything else. The wind's not helping it, but yeah, they're looking to get that race car in. Pit stop, make some adjustments, and make it better.
Well, Ryan Newman already a 2-second lead. Greg Biffle up to 2nd, Casey Kane 3rd, then Reed Sorensen and Kevin Harvick the top 5 at Texas. Has just gotten the 1 to go, but Benny, take a look at this pit stop for Matt Kenseth.
What's the right rear tire changer? What's the tire carrier? The tire comes off, fellow throws the tire on, but it's not a clean put on. He had to rotate the tire, and when he did that, some lug nuts fall off. The tire changer had to pick them up off the ground, put them on the stud, and that's going to lose him about 8 or 9 positions on the racetrack. Just something that simple.
Matt Kenseth will restart. Let's see where he's at here. 11th in that 9 car. J.J. Yaley restarts 5th, a 2-tire stop for him. 4 tires for Harvick, Kane, Newman, and Greg Biffle, the front 4. 20 laps complete, coming around to complete lap 21 here at Texas with Harvick, the race leader. Here is the Aaron's pit summary we just talked about.
Newman lost 3 spots. Casey Kane held serve, and Biffle held serve.
And Newman will actually restart 3rd because Regan Smith stayed out.
I see.
And then came to pit road. So Harvick brings him down. Clint Boyer started at the back of the field, restarts 24th. Truex, the championship leader in the 8 car, restarted 8th. 41 car, Reed Sorensen off the pace. Now seems to be back in the gas.
There's Newman on the outside. That's Casey Kane on the outside, or trying to.
I tell you what, that means This time Casey Kane was a little bit lower on the racetrack than he normally runs. Usually if you pass Casey Kane on the outside, you're hitting the wall.
Well, Newman pulled it off.
Because there's no room up there.
Just no room above Casey Kane. He
Oh,
loves.
we got somebody spinning into.
Curtis Davis in the 12th car. Hang on, hold it.
Tell you what, he
We
was,
spun, but we didn't hit anything, guys. Good job. Just hold it.
he was sideways for about an hour.
The caution is out.
The smoke is still coming out of the cockpit of the car.
Those are some hot tamales in there.
Put off the wall, but the bad news is we're going to put 4 tires on it. Just snapped around on me on entry.
Just snapped around on him. Watch the right side of your screen here on the replay.
As he said, just snapped around, and he's still on the gas. Now he finally locks it up. And you're right, Wally, he did slide for a long time.
Good job keeping off the walls. Hard to do here.
I was talking to Curtis and his dad yesterday. He's been driving his dad's car, underfunded, not a lot of money, and he said, man, we drove in here and they mounted 6 sets of tires. I've never had anything like that before.
Well, he's going to use one of those sets right now. Under caution here at the Texas Motor Speedway.
So Curtis Davis then bringing out the yellow flag and kept it tight and kept off the walls there. And as I say, not easy to do down here in Texas, but great driving skills then. And you can see the difference that one pit stop make. You saw them all come in and change tyres, and well, Ryan Newman started back in 3rd, but overtook Casey Kane on the outside and moved up into 2nd place. But Kevin Harvick is the man in the lead. The number 21 car, the Chevrolet, he's in 1st. He started 3rd on the grid, so Kevin Harvick, the man in front. He's, remember, in the 21 car. Now, the question is going to be, where are the leaders? So let's see if we can just have a look down. Martin Truex Jr., he is riding in 8th place in car number 8, started in 10th, so working his way up the field, and still with a long way to go. We have Clint Boyer. He's made his way, he's made good progress up, so 23rd, so halfway up the field, the man who's in 2nd place in the championship standings. And we'll all keep you up to date with the jockeying for positions at the front. Couple of things going on today, remember. Can Ryan Newman, the man who started on pole, win for the 6th time? And then in the championship standings, what's going to happen between Martin Truex Jr., 100 points in front of Clint Boyer. Newman just in 2nd place at the moment. Truex Jr. holding his line, he's in 8th. And down in 23rd place is Clint Boyer in the number 2 Chevrolet. Well, that's how they stand. Remember, we're on the 2nd yellow flag of the race so far. 25 laps gone of the 200 that they're going to do in today's race down here in Texas. Well, they're getting ready back in Fort Worth, so we'll take you there in just a minute. Remember, when we get back, leading car number 21, Kevin Harvick, followed by the pole man, Ryan Newman. That's the top 2 with Casey Kane in 3rd. As we head live back to Texas.
Police forces, bodies protecting, prosecuting, law and order. The people possess a fundamental right for law and order. Get your Law and Order tomorrow starting at 3 on TNT.
And we are looking for a little law and order on the racetrack here. There's Denny Hamlin, been on and off of pit road, and I'll show you why. It's Carl Edwards in the 60.
That's not much, but you know what? Here it is. That little bit here will cost you.
That's just incredible, just that little bit of a bump. Marty?
Yeah, BP, then under caution, Denny came up to Carl and showed his displeasure with that move, running Carl up the racetrack towards the wall. Carl very upset on the radio saying, hey man, I just got tight. I didn't mean to run him up like that. Certainly didn't mean to get into him. If I did, apologize to him, but he doesn't need to treat me like that under caution.
Edwards restarts 10th. Hamlin's back in 35th. Harvick to the green. Here we go.
Now probably wouldn't be a good time to talk to Carl, would it?
And he said you can talk to him anytime. See Biffle there in the 4th spot, 66 car. Moves right up on Kane's bumper there, but backed off a little. Oh, look in here on the lead. Man.
On the outside. He is going somewhere.
You know, when all those guys just saw that, they're just like, oh, brother, we're in trouble.
That was a nice move. I echo that statement.
So Ryan Newman, who started on the pole.
Oh, trouble. Look out. This is going to be trouble.
That is McMurray.
Looks like an engine. Well, I guess that's water out of the radiator when he hit the wall and broke the radiator.
Jamie McMurray, our 3rd caution of the day. He was in about the 10th position. There's Truex Jr. in the 8.
On the 3 wide.
John Wood.
Oh, John Wood gets into him. I see what happened.
Holy mackerel.
Man, that could have been big.
Martin Truex just dodged a huge bullet on that one. That doesn't get much closer.
No kidding.
Man.
And that's the 2nd time today we've seen that kind of move on that tri-oval, and it just doesn't work. Hey, B?
And just after he slowed down for the caution, Bill, Martin came on the radio and said, I think I've got a flat right rear tire. Then he ran on it just a little bit more, wiggled the car around and said, well, maybe I just got a little bit loose. I think he's going to stay out for now.
So McMurray, that Bell helicopter Dodge, trying to make his way back to probably the garage. End of the day for Jamie at Texas. Our Wendy's race menu for you tomorrow. We're right back here at the Texas Motor Speedway, NASCAR Nextel Cup Racing at 3 Eastern time over on NBC, and our coverage begins with the Bank of America Countdown to Green. 3 races to go in the chase. Greg Biffle, 3rd in the championship standings. Be a part of that. Wally, as you saw earlier, with an adventurous morning here at the Texas Motor Speedway. Be a big day in Wally World tomorrow for us?
I hope so. Yeah, I think it's going to be fun. Yeah.
See the 12 car going by the pace car. He was the recipient of the lucky dog that time by, so.
And he was in the pits again.
Let's check downstairs with Marty.
And Jamie McMurray with a heavily damaged race car in the garage area. And did you get a chance to assess that one for us? Here comes the replay.
Well, you know, Martin got real tight off of turn 4, and I got up underneath him, and I don't know what John was thinking there. Just, you know, everybody makes a mistake every once in a while, and he got in the grass and got up into me. It was just, I had it saved. I'm on the gas here, just spinning the tires.
You're doing a good job.
Yeah, and I thought it's going to hook, and it hooked before I was ready. So tore the car pretty bad. It's unfortunate. We had all the guys from Bell Helicopter here today. It's they sponsored Rusty at Mexico, and they have a headquarters right here. So have 2,700 people, I think, in the stand. So it was it's a cool day for Bell. Bell Helicopter had a really cool car, and it actually drove really well. I felt like I learned some stuff for the Cup race tomorrow. We really struggled with loose in a lot with our Cup car, and I was loose in the Busch car, but being tied off seemed to hurt me worse. So should be able to make some good adjustments for our car tomorrow.
By your best guesstimation, did you make contact with the 8 car?
You know, I'm not sure, and I heard my spotter. He said you're 3 wide, and I couldn't figure out where. I didn't know if I was on the inside or in the middle. And I felt, you know, maybe a little bit with Martin, but not much. I mean, Martin, I'll tell you, was a really good racer. And I know when his spotter said 3 wide, he was going to get out of the gas. I was stuck. I was just kind of hanging on. And I guess when the 47 hit the grass, he just kind of got up into me.
And speaking of him hitting the grass, he's been warned to no longer go in the grass today, Bill.
And here's what they're talking about. And Benny, the track kind of narrows right down here.
It really does. It gets very narrow there. See the blue 47 car. He catches the grass with the left front, loses control, and slides up into the 42 car, McMurray, and I never see the 8 car would just Riding along, what do I do now? What do I do now?
And normally when the tire that hits the grass usually loses grip. And he had 2 of them.
Well, we saw Kyle Busch go through there earlier in the race, too, because there's already a mark in that grass. And that was from Kyle earlier in the race. Jimmy McMurray, by the way, starts 40th tomorrow.
And no, I don't think the 8 car made any contact with 42. Certainly doesn't look like it.
Ryan Newman started on the pole, has a pretty fast race car. He's out in front, pulls Harvick in the field to the green. Kevin's going to check inside early here.
Yeah, that was a late restart for Newman, and I think all these guys got right up on his bumper and made a great restart.
Well, the good thing about this is we get to see that great pass on the outside up in turns 3 and 4 by Ryan Newman again.
Right now, it's the 6 of Casey Kane on the inside of Newman. Oh, there goes Ryan.
Watch that. Let's watch that.
He's got to be running that thing flat. You know, he cannot be lifting if he's going that much faster than Harvick and Casey Kane.
Here you go, BP.
Well, this is turn 2. Nah, this is not going to be very good. Harvick's going to come up. And wait till we get to 4, though, boys and girls. Just watch this up in 3 and 4. Here we go now.
And that's just a matter of a guy out of the gas just a little bit longer than the other guy. And Newman's car is handling well in order for him to do that.
Wow. There you go, boys and girls. Picture perfect.
Ryan Newman
on our Sony HD TV.
Kane in 3rd, then it's Biffle. Ryan Newman won the pole for tomorrow's race, but then on his 2nd lap of qualifying, crashed.
Here comes Casey Kane up on the outside of Harvick. Got the run and get the position.
I'll tell you what, if Ryan Newman would slow down just a little bit, this would be a terrific race.
You want to tell him?
Let me call him.
Don't touch that thing. Leave the man alone. He's got his hands full.
Now Biffle, he watched Newman and Kane run that high line, so Biffle's moved up. See if he can make it work for him.
Carl Edwards. J.J. Yaley.
Out of the 8th position. He gives him a little wave. Said thank you very much, J.J., for not making this too difficult.
Marty?
Well, Bill, we're going to see how that 2-tire stop works out for J.J. Yaley. Restarted 5th in this run. And this race car was extremely tight in that first run. They went up 1 round on the track bar, put an entire spring rubber in the right rear spring. That's going to be a pretty drastic change for the 18 team. J.J. said, though, initially this car feels much better than it did last time.
So we'll see how Yaley hangs on with the 2 tires. There's J.J. in the 18.
We saw the 41 car, Reed Sorensen, spend many, many laps on pit road during the caution flag. He didn't lose anything. But now it looks like he's going forward. He's up to 30th position. Matt, what'd they do?
BP, remember on that restart, you were concerned about the 41? Well, it was stuck in gear. Luckily, the caution came back out. He spent 2 laps on pit road. Didn't lose a lap, but they got the transmission to dislodge, get out of gear. Now it's fine, but you know that whenever you have a problem in your transmission, usually that's the signal that there's something else possibly going wrong. So there is a little bit of concern with that 41, but he is moving up.
Sorensen is 4th in the championship standings in the NASCAR Busch Series. He is back there with some work to do. Everybody chasing Ryan Newman. About 0.8 of a second ahead of Casey Kane. Can't tell you the Truex Jr. runs 10th. And Clint Boyer runs 20th. Transform the way you watch NASCAR. TNT and Sony HD TV proudly present today's race in high definition. And look at that. That'd be the Sony car leading the race.
As I said, picture perfect.
That's marketing, huh? David Green in the 27. Former series champion looking inside of Yaley.
Battle for the 10th position. Kyle Busch in 9th, directly in front of these cars.
Marty, you got some more for us?
Hey, Bill, remember all those changes we were talking about for J.J. Yaley?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, none of them worked. He just came on the radio and said, guys, you know what? Car no better. Still way too tight. Dave?
And David Green in the 27 car talked to the crew chief this morning. Top 10 all day Friday in practice, although they didn't qualify up there when it finally came down to that. But moving his way back toward the top 10, David currently running in 11th in a very strong race car today.
Yaley holding on to that position. Trying to.
This guy's spreading out along the racetrack now. It's a little bit wider.
See, that's what happened, spotters. The spotter said to JJ, look, other cars, the 6, 39, they're able to make some time up on top. You ought to try the outside groove. He did, and guess what? It fixed a lot of his problems.
That's Kyle Busch in that 57 car. Goes on back about the 9th spot, about 7.5 seconds behind race leader Ryan Newman. Dave, what do you got?
The 90 car of Elliott Sadler, Bill, running pretty well today, but in Elliott's own words, real bad tight off the corner, which means the exiting the corner car wanted to push toward that wall. They made a wedge and air pressure adjustment on that first stop to try to correct it, and Elliott remains in the top 10.
Everybody chasing Ryan Newman right now. Started on the pole. He's up front. Ryan Newman going for his 6th consecutive win in the NASCAR Busch Series. Trying to pull it off here at Texas.
Exceed my order! Samuel L. Jackson and Tommy Lee Jones. Rules of Engagement, tonight at 8 on TNT.
Ryan Newman, the race leader, by about 1.5 seconds over Casey Kane. Time to take you through the field. We'll start with Ryan, and here's Alan.
Well, Bill, his crew chief, Roy McCauley, and I talked this morning about the law of averages, this being a very engineering-oriented bunch. I said, what do you think the law of averages says about your chances to win today? He said about 1 billion to 1 against. But I'll take those odds with my race car. Matt?
And the guy trying to chase him down, the 6th of Casey Kane, chasing his 3rd Busch Series win of 2005, which would be a sweep here in Texas. He said after their adjustments on their first stop, they made an air pressure adjustment and pulled some tape off the grill. The car is really good. It's not as loose as it was, Alan.
Greg Biffle started in 5th position. He's running in 3rd right now. They made some minor adjustments to the car on that last pit stop. Biffle trying to just pace those in front of him for the moment. Marty?
Kevin Harvick was amazed at the speed at which Ryan Newman went by him in turns 3 and 4 earlier. He said, you know what, I barely lifted. Obviously, he's running wide open through turns 3 and 4. Car a little loose for Kevin right now. This is the car he won Richmond with just a couple of weeks ago back in September. Carl Edwards says this car is tight from the center of the corner off, talking about taking a pound out of both left side tires and going up on the track bar on their next stop. Alan?
25-year-old Paul Menard from Wisconsin, running in 6th now, just gave up the 5th position to Carl Edwards. Says the back end of his car is sliding around a little bit. They made an adjustment to try and help that on the last stop. Martin Truex Jr., the championship leader, that close call we saw when Jamie McMurray wrecked a minute ago. His crew chief, Kevin Mannion, made some adjustments on the pit stop. Truex says the car is better. Now he's hunting the racetrack for a better line to suit it, Dave.
Matt Kence's car has been difficult to turn all race long. They just talked on the radio about an adjustment that they'd like to make on the next stop. Air pressure out of the left side tires. Matt said, maybe something else. I'll get back to you. Marty?
Dave J.J. Yaley coming off his best finish of the 2005 season. Last time out, he finished 2nd at the Memphis Motorsports Park. He said the car is way too tight, but you know what? Those 2 tires aren't looking too bad. Restarted 5th. Currently, he's at 9th. Dave?
Elliott Sadler started this race 17th. He currently runs in the 10th position. Right now, just a pretty good handling car for Elliott. The 27 of David Green we talked about just a little bit earlier. That car for David operating pretty well after that first pit stop. Adjustments seem to be helping David out. The 19 car of Bobby Labonte making a return to the Slim Jim paint scheme that he had on the car when he won the Busch Series Championship back in 1991. Kind of a nice retro look, Matt.
Kyle Busch told us at the beginning of the show that he's going to try to make it exciting coming from the back. Now, they made a great call on pit road. No tires for track position. He is running in 13th. They made a significant track bar adjustment, Dave, to free that race car up.
Good run today for Jason Keller. He's basically halved his day, starting back in the 30s all the way up to 14th. Good run for Keller. Marty?
Second place man in the championship, Clint Boyer, is doing an excellent job. Remember, started at the back of the field today. He has some points to make up on Martin Truex Jr. He's being very patient. The car is better. It was loose on the last run. They made a wedge adjustment. It's gotten better on this run, Matt.
Jason Leffler, the 32 car, chasing his second series win right now. Currently runs in the 16th position, just riding. The car is good, just fighting a lack of grip, Marty.
When Davis Strumi qualified second for this race, he told me, you know what, I just want to finish in the top 10. That's all I want to do, because I've only had one top 10 in their last 9 races. Currently, probably a little too loose getting into the corner, a little too tight coming off the corner. Matty?
Hey, you've already heard about John Wood's experiences here today at Texas. Now, they were concerned about a fender rub earlier. That's okay. The car is still tight, though, especially down in the turns 3 and 4. Dave?
Before the race, I asked Johnny Sauter what kind of a car he had today. He said, well, I'm not sure how it's going to be, because in qualifying, I flat-footed it. In other words, kept my foot to the floor, and we only qualified 27th. So far, not too bad. He's been moving up. The 33 of Tony Raines getting underneath there. Tony running that yellow paint scheme. Wow, nearly getting into John Wood there, but moving forward.
And the young man who's 4th in the championship standings, the 41 Reed Sorensen. Now, transmission problem appears to be okay. The car is good. He said it felt like it was a little bit tight off turn 2, but it was great everywhere else. And the track bar adjustment that Brian Patty, his crew chief, made on the last stop makes the car even better, guys.
That's your top 21 guys. There are 37 cars currently on the lead lap here at Texas. Everyone chasing Ryan Newman 0.8 of a second in front of Casey Kane. That's Sorensen and Wood. Sorensen in the 41. And there's Ryan Newman. Gonna put Todd Bodine a lap down.
And there is Casey Kane right there. All of a sudden, Casey Kane has made up some ground, and he's gonna take a look.
I don't know if he's just that much faster than Ryan Newman, or traffic has been slowing the 39 car down, but I've been noticing that 6 getting closer and closer.
Ryan was trying to negotiate through some traffic, Alan.
Yeah, he just called it on the radio, Bill, and said his car a tick tight, lacking some front end grip right here. That might explain what you're about to see.
Casey Kane going to try the inside.
Oh, that's not going to work for the 6 car.
Matt?
Well, Casey trying to work the bottom now. He was working the high side earlier. Now goes back up top to duck in behind the 39 of Newman. That car really coming to him. As I told you earlier, he told his crew chief, Trip Bruce, that adjustment we made, the car near perfect. He led a lot of laps here in the spring, working all over the 39 again.
And the 66 car, Greg Biffle, is getting closer to this front 2. He's only a little over a half a second behind the front 2.
So Ryan Newman's human, huh?
It looks that way. Well, it's not over yet, but...
Really tight on edge for the 3 up high.
There you go.
And that will hurt, because what you have to do is you got to lift off the throttle to get the car to turn into the corner. And that's where these guys will make up a lot of ground on you if you're tight end.
Now, Casey Kane, the 6 car, I think he's faster than Ryan Newman, but he needs to pass him on the outside. And guess where Newman's running? See him up high?
It kind of needs to get going, because Biffle is closing in on him right now.
And Biffle might be able to pass him on the bottom.
Newman has led 53 of the 62 laps. On board with Biffle into the shadows. Turn 1. Allen.
And Bill, just before the start of the race, as he rolled off for the pace laps, Ryan Newman talked with his crew chief, Roy McCauley, about how the shadows would grow over turns 1 and 2, and then the front stretch as this race goes on, how that would affect track temperature and their car's handling, something all these teams have to deal with as they go throughout this 300-mile race.
And that could be a big factor here tomorrow with an afternoon green flag into the twilight at Texas. Ryan Newman out front. You're watching NASCAR on TNT.
Yes, and you're watching NASCAR on Motors TV. Nice little filler this. You can always, if you're joining us, go to motorstv.com, go in the information bar on the left-hand side, click on the forum, log yourself in, and join in the chat. Thanks to all of you out there. That'd be you, Sue, and look, Sue. And just to keep you up to date with the race positions, and some of you wanting me to keep an eye on 1 or 2 of these drivers that you think are doing very well. Denny Hamlin started 14th, is running 24th. Kevin Hamlin started 20th, running 25th. So making good progress there, the pair of them. Meanwhile, back at the top of the leaderboard, Ryan Newman leading the race. Martin Truex Jr. still in 8th, so started in 10th place, but has been holding on to this 8th position. Just dodged a bullet there when McMurray came right across in that crash that brought out the 3rd yellow flag. Just behind Truex Jr., Clint Boyer. Let's have a quick look at him, number 2 car. Let's see where he is at the moment. Up to 23rd, up to 20th, and now up to 14th in the Chevrolet. So making his way inexorably towards the front of this race, but he's got an awful lot to catch up. A few more yellow flags will bring the pack together and give Boyer a chance to overtake a few more and catch up to the coattails of Martin Truex Jr. Boyer won the Samstown 250. J.J. Yealy second in that race. Truex Jr. in 3rd. And former champion Dave Green, car number 27, finished in 4th then. So let's see how they shake out. We'll keep our eyes on the race as it progresses, but it's still the man on pole who leads the race, Ryan Newman.
NASCAR Busch Series racing from Texas Motor Speedway is brought to you by Star Motorcycles from Yamaha. We build it, you make it your own. By High Endurance Oils from Mobil, the official lubricants of NASCAR. Enhanced protection for 5,000, 7,500, or 15,000 miles guaranteed. And by Energizer. Keep going.
Ryan Newman's the Energizer here. He just keeps going and going. That's Rusty Wallace. He's knocking off the lead lap.
And look how much deeper he goes in turn 3 than Rusty Wallace.
That leaves just 26 cars on the lead lap. And Newman's put about 7/10 of a second between himself and second place Casey Kane.
It looked like that Casey Kane was going to challenge for the lead just a few laps ago, but you're right. As soon as Ryan Newman got some clean racetrack, he said, no, I'm going to lead the rest of this race.
Championship leader Martin Truex Jr. runs 8th. Clint Boyer second in the standings, runs 13th. We're looking for Carl Edwards because Marty Snyder has something.
He's running in 5th right now, Bill, and his race car is tight. And they asked Carl on the radio, is it tighter in 3 and 4 where he is right now than it is in 1 and 2? He said, yeah. They said that's because there's a 20-mile-an-hour wind in turns 3 and 4. In 1 and 2, the condos block that. Wally has a condo over there. Your condo's blocking the wind over there in 1 and 2, Wally. But in 3 and 4, there's no condos to block the wind. That's why his race car is so much tighter in 3 and 4 than it is in 1 and 2.
I'll just do everything I can, Marty, to help these guys out.
Here's what we're talking about. You turn the car, but the wind, the 20-mile-an-hour wind that Marty was talking about, is just blowing this big old car, this 3,400-pound car, up the racetrack. Robert Preston, 46, in front of Carl. Dave Blaney in the 31, direct in front of him. Both those cars, 31, 46, are allowed down. Now we go battle for the lead again.
But it seems like when Newman gets in traffic a little bit, that's when Casey Kane really closes the gap.
That's John Wood off the lead lap, and there's Kane on the bumper of Newman.
Four car you saw there's Kevin Hamlin.
These guys are going to have just about everybody lapped if this thing goes green much longer. Hey, B?
Hey, Wally, what do you think that when Newman's in traffic, he can't keep that gas pedal all the way to the floor through 3 and 4, huh? Maybe that's why the 6 car catches him so quickly?
Absolutely.
But when he gets clear of that traffic,
yeah,
man, off he goes. .23 cars on the lead lap. Getting close to what could be green flag pit stops here at Texas. We'll be back for that. Newman leads. For second, TNT will bring you the NASCAR Nextel Cup Awards ceremony. And during the ceremony, we'll announce the winner of this season's most dramatic moment. It's a part of NASCAR.com's 4th annual Fans Voice Awards. Log on to NASCAR.com and start voting today. Ryan Newman.
Gone.
Yes.
And going. Man.
About a second and a half ahead of Casey Kane right now.
It seems like Alan was talking about, if he's in clean air, forget it. But if he gets around other cars, his car looks like it gets real tight. And he's got to get him past as soon as he can. Second place. Biffle, yep.
Biffle in the 66, Casey Kane in the 6. Alan?
Greg Biffle just talking about what they're going to do on this upcoming pit stop with his crew chief Newton Moorville. Said he just needs to be just a little bit freer, meaning a little bit more front end grip for the car to go. And he thinks he can do something with these guys in front of him, or now this guy in front of him.
Right. The guy, Ryan Newman. 2 seconds ahead of Biffle and getting ready to knock Denny Hamlin off the lead lap, and that would leave just 20 cars on the lead lap.
60 car Carl Edwards on pit road. Pit road speed 45 miles per hour. Coming to you, Marty.
Yeah, BP, they had talked about a slew of changes for the 60 car, but Carl said, you know, it actually didn't get too bad at the end of that run there. The car is tight. Maybe that's a little bit of the wind dying down somewhat, but the car has gotten less tight the longer they run, which is a little unusual. So all they're going to do is put a half a pound in the right rear tire for Carl. Ran 5th for much of that run. It'll be 4 tires. Carl said it started out pretty quick, but at the end of the run, as we talked about, a little too tight to keep up with the 39 car. He did remark about how fast that 39 car was and how nobody, unless something dramatic happens, is going to be able to keep up with him today. Good stop for the 60 bunch here. Alan?
And Paul Menard is pitting. Very solid top 10 run all day for this 11 car so far. Talking about needing some front grip. They've changed the air pressure on the set of tires they're about to put on the car. You'll also see the adjustment wrench go in the bottom right hole in that back windshield to make a track bar adjustment. There it goes as they try and tweak that Paul Menard car on this pit stop.
Dave Burns.
Johnny Sauter with an early pit stop in the 1 car. You see the wrench going in the rear window. That's for a wedge adjustment. His car is very, very tight. It's going to be a track bar adjustment, actually. A 4-tire stop for Johnny, one of the guys to pit earliest on this round.
Looked like they did wedge and track bar on that 1 car there. Sauter on pit road.
Boy, they're having a lot of trouble there in the left front.
They couldn't get the jack under the left side of the car for some reason. I don't know what happened, but
a long stop. Greg Biffle now on pit road. All this happening under green. Alan, coming to you.
Going to make some minor adjustments on that 66 car. Going to take a round of wedge into the right rear. You'll watch the wedge wrench go into that back window. Martin Truex Jr. should also be coming down pit road right behind him. Crew Chief Newton Moore talking about this Greg Biffle pit crew, saying they've made a big improvement from the beginning of the year. They used to hurt themselves on their pit stops. Now they're very competitive with these other cars. You see Martin Truex Jr., the championship leader, sliding into his spot behind him. Truex reporting on this last run, his car needing help with the front end grip on it. They will add a spring rubber in the right rear, or they were planning to anyway, and change 4 tires and send them out.
J.J. Haley did a good job on those 2 tires. They have been on since the beginning of the race. So 85 laps on these left side tires for J.J. Haley. A little bit long on the left rear. They went down on the track bar. Car got loose at the end of that run. Matt?
And Denny Hamlin trying to protect his 58-point cushion over the driver's 6 in the championship standings. Now they were going to short pit with the leaders because they were a little off cycle. They topped off at lap 30. Going to make a host of changes to try to figure out the balance of that race car. It was free on entry and free on exit. Today.
Speaking of free, Matty, that's what David Green was complaining about in the 27 car. Let's see what adjustments they go to. As far as the chassis is concerned, nothing's actually, there goes the wrench. That's going to be a wedge adjustment on the car. Also air pressure adjustments for David as well. Again, car turns too freely. Matt, back to you.
He had kind of a jiggy move coming on the pit road, a little left, a little right. He tried to get out in the binders now. Rodney Rhodes is going to make a wedge adjustment on the left side. They've already completed the track bar on the right side. He said, you would not believe how good this motor is, but the car, he just could not turn off the bottom, DB.
And the 90 car of Elliott Sadler and the 9 car of Matt Kenseth in. Sadler's car was tight, but he said, I don't want to loosen it up too much. As for Kenseth, his car was also tight, gave a litany of adjustments. In fact, so many, he asked his crew chief to repeat them back. They did. There'll be a bunch of air pressure adjustments and a chassis adjustment for the 9 car of Kenseth. Finishing up the left side, Elliott Sadler leads. Alan, to you.
And here comes the man who has spent most of the time out in front of this race, Ryan Newman, to the first pit stall on pit road. Going to be a 4-tire change. They'll make one adjustment on the car. There goes the wrench into the left rear window. And finish the 4-tire change. This is not the crew that pits his Nextel Cup car. This is a whole separate pit crew. Guys who are maybe hoping to work their way into that Nextel Cup team someday. Marty?
Alan, Kevin Harvick leaving pit road, said the car was just way too loose at the beginning of that run. No way they could keep up with a 39 like that. So they went down on the track bar trying to tighten that car up. A little bit longer of a stop than they would have liked. Dave?
Bobby Labonte keeps complaining about the grip for his race car. No grip. This track is notorious that way, but Bobby has a real lack of it today. So they're going to make a change, a 4-tire change for Bobby. Try to put some grip back into the 19 car. Give this former Busch Series champion a chance with it. Finishing up on the left side now. Labonte will finish that work and leave pit road.
Thanks, guys. Excellent job down there. Wait for the leaders to come by and the scoring to cycle through.
Well, that's a battle for the second position according to scoring. Scoring is Ryan Newman, 39, goes by Greg Biffle. The reason Biffle was in front, he had run a couple of laps on those new tires and picked up some speed, some distance on Newman. There's your leader.
Reed Sorensen out in front here at Texas. So Sorensen has the race lead, and now Newman has to try and chase him down here at the Texas Motor Speedway.
Just to bring you up to date in the NASCAR Busch Championship standings, Reed Sorensen there, the race leader today, 4th in the championship. Some way 429 points behind the leader, Truex Jr. As I said at the beginning, mathematically still possible, but Sorensen, well, just driving for pride, and 3 races in which to do it. Maybe he'll finish in the top 3, who knows? Little way to go to catch up on Carl Edwards. Something like 58 points behind Edwards, and then there's a bit of a jump, so a good battle between Edwards in 3rd, Sorensen in 4th, and really the battle for the championship between Truex Jr. and Clint Bowyer. Truex Jr. dodging a bullet already in this race, but we're still waiting for the fireworks to go off on Bonfire Night on the 5th of November here in Texas. A little shuffling of the pack on this pit stop, most of them changing 4 tires and just tweaking the timing and the tension of the cars. And it looks as though Sorensen has gone in for his pit stop, so Ryan Newman, when we come back to live pictures, is going to be in the lead once again. Greg Biffle in 2nd place. Casey Kane in 3rd by the looks of things. That's your top 3. Truex Jr. still in 8th place. Busy weekend for a lot of these drivers this weekend. Just getting a feel for how the track's going to go and see what they can do in this NASCAR Busch Championship race. Ryan Newman in the lead ahead of Greg Biffle, but it's the NASCAR Busch Championship leader Martin Truex Jr. driving the number 8 car. A fairly lengthy pit stop, but he's held his position in the race. He's currently in 8th. Well, when you come back in just a second, it's going to be Ryan Newman ahead of Greg Biffle now.
Thursday night on Speed, the chase is on. A look at how the chase is shaping up. Be just 2 races to go when Thursday rolls around. The chase is on, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, Thursday night on Speed. 95 laps complete here at Texas. Ryan Newman is out front by 7/10 of a second. He has led 84 of what's now 96 laps. Here at the Texas Motor Speedway, NASCAR Busch Series Racing, presented by Star Motorcycles. There are 18 cars on the lead lap. Greg Biffle runs 2nd, Casey Kane 3rd, Kevin Harvick 4th, and Paul Menard 5th.
There's about a car or 2 a lap falling. So Ryan Newman to put him a lap down. I mean, he's just flying around this place. He's got a car that looks like he's running flat out around here.
And you're riding on board with the next victim to go a lap down. Oh,
Wow. Yo, okay. Flat tire looks like.
Like the left front tire flat on Chad Chapin's car.
So he sneaks on the pit road. That was a close call.
Yes, it was.
Johnny Benson in 67, and you're right, that was a very close call.
And something to keep an eye on here. Newman is so quick. One of the cars that he's going to be able to see when he gets to the backstretch is going to be the 2, Clint Boyer. Second in the championship standings.
And that is definitely something that Boyer does not want to see in the rearview mirror, is the leader.
Because Martin Truex Jr. just picked up a spot. Championship leader runs 7th. There's Boyer. There's Reed Sorensen in the 41. He was the leader when we went to break. He had to make his green flag pit stop, so he gave up the lead to Ryan Newman.
You never see Boyer in the 2 car.
Right now, Boyer is the last car on the lead lap. Marte.
William on the last stop on lap 90 for Clint Boyer. They came in. His car was loose. They said it was getting better than it was on the first run, so they went down 1 round the track bar and 4 tires. They have made him aware the 39 is back there, and clearly the 39 the class of the field today, so they know that he could get around them eventually. So they're not too panicked right now about losing a lap. They're more worried about just trying to make the car better so they can stay up there and run up front as much as they can today.
Just past the halfway mark here. The O'Reilly Challenge for the NASCAR Busch Series. There's Truex Jr. in the 8 car, the championship leader.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Big picture, big picture.
Yeah, and when you see Kenseth in the 9 car getting on the inside of Truex, that's a battle for 7th.
And that's Justin Labonte in the 44, right in front of those 2.
The 9 car didn't have that good of a pit stop, did they, Dave?
No, and Wally, how do you drive after you have a bad pit stop like that?
Mad.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of how Matt's driving right now. Crew Chief Chad Norris gave him his position following the stop. You're in 12th position. You're 15 seconds behind the leader. Matt kind of came back and said, "You think?"
Yeah. I passed these guys once or twice already.
Exactly. They've had a couple of bad stops today, and it's kind of a combination, mostly guys from his Cup crew, but they just haven't had a good day.
Which is unusual because those guys are usually the best out there.
Exactly.
And he's about to lose another spot to Jason Leffler in 32. Put him back to 9th if Leffler can get by.
How about Truex, Alan?
Well, you know, Bill, Kevin Mannion told me that these mile-and-a-half tracks have been a struggle for them of late. Despite all the success that they've had all this season, these big, fast mile-and-a-halves, they just can't seem to run as competitively up front as they do at some of the other tracks. They were worried about it entering the day. They still continue to fight the handling on this car. I guess the good news is they're still in front of the 2.
Yeah, a bad day for those guys is a top 10 finish.
That's
so.
right. So Truex Jr. trying to protect his lead in the championship. Ryan Newman looking for his 6th consecutive win in the NASCAR Busch Series. He's out front in the O'Reilly Challenge at the Texas Motor Speedway on TNT.
So there we are, a quick glimpse of who's in front. Newman, Biffle, Kane, Harvick, Menard and Carl Edwards, the top 6. As they just come to the start-finish line. Martin Truex Jr. just crossing. He's just slipped. He's in 9th place, but in the Chevrolet, as the commentators have already said, just looking to protect his championship lead ahead of Clint Boyer. Boyer's made his way up from the back, and he's up now into 7th place, the number 2 car, the Chevrolet. And, well, everyone looking at Ryan Newman. The car working very well. Man with an awful lot of experience among a very experienced set of drivers out on the course in Texas today. Yellow flag has come out. Single file then. They'll just bunch up again. Now, I'm sure we'll get a chance to see exactly who it was that caused the 4th yellow flag of the day. Danny Hamlin, you'll be pleased to hear, is the current fastest lap. And all the speeds have come right down, of course. And, well, we get a chance to see what all that was about. In the race, though, we have the 4th yellow flag as Ryan Newman leads the NASCAR Busch Championship in Texas.
Under caution at the Texas Motor Speedway due to debris. Leaders debating on whether to pit or not. Casey Kane, who runs in 3rd, will do what the leaders do. Newman stays out. Biffle and Kane decide to peel onto pit road. Now, Kane was having an issue really on exit. Said if we could just raise the track bar just a little bit to free this car up off the corner, he goes, we will have a total rocket. You can see them make the track bar adjustment. And around to the left side, today Burns.
And Matt Kentz's car still a little bit on the tight side, doesn't want to turn real well. They will take some more air pressure out of the right front, more air pressure out of the left side tires, and also make another chassis adjustment on this round. Marty.
Well, this ought to be interesting. Kevin Harvick said his car was just too loose, and so they're going to try a little something different. Put on scuffed tires, put 1 round in the left rear to try and tighten that car up. Alan?
Well, we'll see how this works out for Greg Biffle's team. He pitted from 2nd spot, but a lot of lead lap cars did not. He's got 15 lap pressure tires than some of the other guys. Martin Truex Jr. just didn't like that set of tires on his car. He complained about the way that the car was gripping the track on both ends, said it's just terrible, let's do something about it. They did.
Thanks, guys. And the complexion of this race just changed dramatically. Under caution for debris here at the Texas Motor Speedway. Newman stayed out. The #1 team in the nation is on TBS Saturday Night College Football. Heisman hopefuls Matt Leinart and Reggie Busch look to keep USC's championship season alive against Pac-10 rival Stanford. Stanford USC tonight 10 Eastern on TBS Saturday Night College Football presented by Orbitz. Let's pass it down to Alan.
Yeah, that story I started to tell when Yaley hit the wall there, Bill, was about why Ryan Newman didn't pit that time. As crew chief Roy McCauley told me, we only had 15 laps on our tires. Our car likes clean air. Being up front is a good place to be. And think about this. This didn't come from Roy, but this is my ad. If we get a couple late cautions, now they've got one more set of tires than everybody else has. With a car that strong, that could be trouble. Marty?
Our 2nd place man in championship, Clint Boyer, just left pit road, Alan. They're trying to make some drastic changes to this car, trying to get it better. It's been loose all afternoon long for Clint. They came down pit road this time. The water's right at 240. Not a huge concern, but they did pull a piece of tape off. They made two separate wedge adjustments and a track bar adjustment, trying to get that car tightened up for Clint.
He heads back out on the speedway.
Taking that tape off will tighten it up.
This is a car that he hadn't driven until the green flag today. It came off the truck, they set the car up, but until he took the green flag today, he did not have a lap in this car.
Right now, he's 123 points behind Truex in the championship standings. Start of the day, 100 back. So Ryan Newman on those slightly older tires brings them to the green. The 84 to go. Wants to get down inside. And hopes those lap cars will give him some room up front. Matt, how about the 2nd place car of Kane?
Now, BP, remember you were talking about the differences between fresh tires and old tires?
Yes.
Well, that's exactly what Casey Kane was discussing with his team under the car. She said, man, we are on fresh tires. He has old tires, and he's able to pull away from me like he is. He has some race car, but he also said they're trying to keep up with this racetrack as it continues to tighten up more and more. You see Casey go to the high side. He says, every stop we get, we're going to have to really free this car up.
And Biffle on the march right behind him, Matt.
Well, I tell you what, Ryan Newman has been impressive. Being able to stay in front of these cars. Looks like Biffle, the 66, might be just a tick better now, Bill, than Casey Kane in 6.
Looks like it, pulling up on the bumper of Kane. Tell you what, this tells you how good that 39 car is.
Yeah, it really does.
Man, oh man.
I thought at least those two cars right there would have caught him and passed him.
Now these cars, the 666, all these cars that just stopped can make it on one more stop. And I'm assuming that Ryan Newman can as well. Otherwise, he would have had to have stopped.
Newman has led 107 of the 119 laps.
Alan, can Ryan make it on one more stop?
Yeah, Benny, his pit stop was at lap 88, so even if you round that to 90, that's 110 laps to go. And with 16 laps conservatively on a tank of fuel, that's easily just a one-stop race. The trick to Newman will be if we get some late cautions. And they put a lot of laps on this set of tires. Remember, he'll have the fresh set versus the guys that are chasing him.
Yep. Well, the other two cars, they have 2 sets left, I think. So that should be enough tires to get the job done.
So Casey Kane has moved in on him a little bit there.
Marty, got some more tire news?
Well, according to Kevin Harvick's team, they have one set that they would like to use, a sticker set. They do have a set of BP that's about 9 lap scuffs, but the one set that they have left, sticker tires, that's it. So only one set of stickers left for most all these teams on pit road.
And again, Newman's tire is about 20 laps older than the other guys. Dave?
And confirming what Marty said, set of stickers left in the 9 pit of Matt Kenseth, but a lot of these guys, I'm sure, made the same move that the 9 team did. That set that came off of the first run, which was only 15 laps long, those were the tires the guys qualified on. So under 20 lap tires, re-glued, and now ready to put on that car just in case they need them. Matt?
6 car running in the second position. They're trying to reel in the 39 now. I just spoke with Trip Bruce. The crew chief said they've got one set of sticker tires left. You can see Casey's moving around, stressfully trying to move that upper high line, but he just can't get it to turn on the bottom.
I noticed that, Matt, when he tried to run down the bottom of the racetrack just on this restart where he felt like he should be, the 39 car kind of drove away from him. When he moved up high on the racetrack, then he closed back up on the back of 39.
Problem is, when he moved up the last couple times he's been running high in 3 and 4, Biffle has really closed in on him.
Last 2 laps, Biffle has been the fastest car out there.
Well, Newton Moore, the crew chief on the 66 car, told me this morning, I asked him how the car was, he said, we're going to win today.
Hey, what, Biffle will have to jump out of the gas big time there in order to not hit Casey Kane, and lost about 7 or 8 car lengths on Casey Kane.
So how's he driving now?
Pretty bad.
Biffle won the Nextel Cup race here in the spring. Goes for the sweep tomorrow. 3rd in the Nextel Cup championship standings. So Ryan Newman able to hold off Casey Kane and Greg Biffle so far in the O'Reilly Challenge at the Texas Motor Speedway.
So Ryan Newman then sailing away in the front of this race here in Texas. No new tale to tell Newman. Well, maybe there will be today if he wins today and makes it 6th straight victory in a row. Yeah, we love you just the way you are, don't worry about it. So he's staying in front of the rest, and a highly impressive performance from Newman at the moment. Casey Kane and Greg Biffle doing what they can, but as I said before, I mean, let me know what you think on the forum. Go to Motors TV and throw in your 5 cents worth. Who do you think is going to win the race? For me, I think Ryan Newman's going to sail away at the front. He's going to hold them off. I also think that Martin Truex Jr. is going to win the overall championship. I think most of you will probably agree with that one, but it'd be good to hear your thoughts on what you think about the track itself, or the way the race is shaping up, and what you think might happen in the second half of this. They've done 127 of the 200 laps. And we're a little further down the field now. Just keep you up to date. Martin Truex Jr. is slipping back a little bit. He's now in 10th place. Looking a bit further down for Clint Boyer. He's now in 16th. Well, staying in 16th, Boyer. So get yourself onto the forum and let me know your thoughts on how this race is going to end. And if you agree with me that Ryan Newman is going to stay in front, he's been in front for 115 of 126 laps, then let me know. If you think he's going to be overtaken by one of the other big guns behind him, Then let me know that too if you think it's going to be Kane or Biffle or if one of the others is going to come through. Carl Edwards maybe, Matt Kenseth, who knows. Just get yourselves on there and let me know the fastest lap, just so you know. Well, it was Ryan Newman. It's now Casey Kane on his new tyres and 177 miles an hour. The lead for Newman down to just 0.28 of a second. It was up to well, nearly a whole second, and that was after 30 or 40 laps, something like that, if memory serves. Now 130, so 70 laps left now. Ryan Newman stays in the lead. Casey Kane is in second when we go back to the race. Greg Biffle in third. Harvick, Edwards, and then Kenseth are your top six. Martin Truex Jr. is in 10th, and behind him, Clint Boyer, well, he was in 16th, and he's just climbed as they go past the start-finish line. I'll give you the update in just a second. No, I won't. 16th.
Haven't missed anything. Casey Kane still on the back bumper of Ryan Newman, trying to make that pass. He has been all over him, but cannot get around him.
Well, Newman is giving Casey Kane the bottom of the racetrack. Wow, what was that all about?
He had the top that time.
Down in 3 and 4 where
wow, look at that run now he's got.
All right, here we go for the lead. Casey Kane just doesn't run well on the bottom normally.
He better now.
He stayed with him. Lost a little bit, but not bad.
This could be.
Into turn 1.
He's clear. Spotter, clear him.
Now watch him down the backstretch.
Oh,
boy.
Oh, once again.
Nice move, buddy.
Nice move is right.
Picked up a big push Casey Kane did coming off a turn 2. That was a crossover that Newman just made. Here we go again.
That was beautiful.
That was pretty neat.
Yeah, good stuff.
Now Kane is really quick coming off of 2, as we see.
Yeah, well, he's running that high line, so he's got a great run going down the backstretch, like right here. But it's just so hard to pass somebody when you get down on the bottom here, because you just can't stay on the gas like you want to right here, because you need all that racetrack to slide up and drift up against the wall. So
we heard Matt talk
right now.
We heard Matt talking about the 6 car earlier in the race. The front tires just not getting the grip that they need when he has to run the bottom of the racetrack. Only gets that good grip up high where he is now.
Here we go. But if he can get far enough like that, wow, that was a good run there.
Now watch Newman come back.
Come down on the bottom. Good stuff. But now, if Casey can stay next to him, I think he'll have him off of 2. What do you think, BP?
I think you're right.
Newman led that lap. No, Kane did. Check that. Kane did lead that lap, so he gets credit for leading the lap there.
Now, Casey will have the run, and he'll take the lead here, because that's where he's been strong.
Alan, what do you got?
Just listening to Greg Biffle. He's watching Kane and Newman race in front of him, and he said, I'm not really sure what's going to happen here, with a tone in his voice like, I'm not sure how close I want to get to this.
He's about a second behind. There he is. Marty?
Hey guys, real quick, behind all this exciting racing, Kevin Harvick thinks he might have a right rear going down. However, Carl Edwards looked at it, said it looks fine to him, so Harvick going to keep it out there for right now.
Harvick runs 4th and Edwards 5th. That goes on about 5 seconds behind this battle for the lead between Ryan Newman in the 39 and Casey Kane in the 6.
This is turning out to be an absolute 2-car race between 6 and 39. Greg Biffle at this point just cannot quite keep up with these 2 cars.
Ooh, boy, Casey Kane was high that time.
Newman may just want to, or Biffle may just want to watch. That's why he's back there.
I'll tell you what, if I was him, I would too, because this has been some good stuff.
It's not going to be long before these guys run up on some lap traffic.
I'll tell you what, we talked about that upper groove working, Benny, and it's there right now, thanks to Casey Kane.
Yeah.
So Casey Kane, the race leader, 62 laps to go here at the Texas Motor Speedway. Ryan Newman's team watching the race from pit road and enjoying what they're seeing. Their guy has been dominant, but runs second to Kane right now.
Welcome back, and remember to join us in the forum on motorstv.com. Going to the left-hand panel, click on forum, sign yourselves in and join in the fun. I just want to say a quick hello to Colleen and family. Welcome to you all. Welcome to everyone on the forum and contributing. My view and the view around here is that Ryan Newman is going to wait for the next caution, come in, change his tyres and win this race. Let me know what you think.
156 laps are complete here at the Texas Motor Speedway. Today's NASCAR Busch Series race presented by Star Motorcycles, and Casey Kane continues to lead. Ryan Newman runs second, then it's Biffle, Harvick, and Edwards the top 5, and we're closing in on what could be a green flag stop for Ryan Newman in that 39 car. Ryan Newman in his 8th Busch Series race of the season. He has led 733 laps in those 8 races. That's more laps than anybody else in 2005. And for that, we give Ryan our ExxonMobil Command Performance of the Race.
That's just incredible. In 8 races, he's led more than anyone else has all year. Truex has led 705 this year. That's amazing.
And Newman 733.
That's amazing.
That is amazing.
And counting.
Yes, and Ryan. Well, not right now. It's not.
Did I say that was amazing?
I think I heard you say that.
Man.
Well, back on lap 106, the caution came out. All the lead lap cars stopped except Ryan Newman.
And we said at the time, uh-oh.
Yeah.
If this thing stays green,
now he's going to have to stop fairly soon.
Right.
Somebody may just take 2 and 1 can of fuel.
Alan, what do you know?
I know that Ryan Newman is about a lap or so away. I bet he is 1 lap away from stopping. He'll pit next time by his crew chief Roy McCauley just made the call.
Okay, what are they going to do? 4 tires and fuel, right?
VP, I'm going to disagree with you and Wally a little bit here. I'm going to look for everybody to take 4 tires. This long green flag run, that's a lot of wear on the lefts, and this racetrack is hard to get a hold of.
Marty?
Weber, you know, the last thing, Kevin, well, actually, here comes our leader, Ryan Newman. He's going to come to pit road. I would not be surprised, though, if the 21 car took 2 tires on their last stop. Last thing Harvick told me before he got in the car today, we have nothing to lose, and he's absolutely right.
Ryan Newman, the long drive down pit road toward Allen. We were talking back and forth during the commercial break. The guys up here think we might see some of those leaders take 2 tires. Allen, Ryan Newman headed for you.
And they have already made the call. 4 tires on this pit stop. They'll top it off with fuel. Looking to have a good clean stop here. This is under green, so every wasted second cost you a lot of ground on the racetrack. The big risk for Newman now, if the caution were to come out before Casey Kane and the other leaders make their pit stop, they'll keep their fingers crossed, pull some trash off the front grill as well.
That was a great stop by these guys, but you're right. He just can't afford for the caution flag to come out before the rest of these cars pit.
And that's about 15 laps or so, we're thinking. Somewhere between 15 and maybe 18 laps. There's Kane, who won here in April, driving the 38 car. He's in the 6 today. .38 laps to go. They are flying around here at a record pace.
Wow, 13 miles per hour faster than the record pace.
And that's because we've only had 5 cautions today.
And if the yellow does come out right now, I mean, he's passing cars, putting cars a lap down quickly. So Newman's not even in position to be the lucky dog right this second.
Now, we've got the 66 car, Biffle. He's right behind. He's only a half second behind Casey Kane. There's Menard, the 11. He just pitted, changed 4 tires. You see how much faster you are with 4 tires than the used tires?
So Menard jumped on pit road to go ahead and get those tires and try and make up ground.
Exactly. He's short pitted.
There's on board with Casey Kane.
Cool shot.
That is a
it?
cool shot, man.
Goes down in the corner.
Not being challenged right now for the lead.
Boy, his car looks like it's handling well. If you tell by his steering wheel, he's not correcting it too much.
Going into 3 here. Side by side for the lead. Biffle in the 66.
How about Biffle ran the middle of the racetrack, Wally? Not the top, not the bottom, but the middle.
And Biffle leads that lap. Matt. Oh, Cascade in the wall.
That's why Biffle caught him so easily. Caution flag is out, and Ryan Newman a lap down.
Yes, sir.
18th.
And not a lucky dog.
Correct.
And brake rotors flying off the 6 car. Man, oh man. Tough break.
That was a bad choice of words.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at it, throwing his hand up. He's not very happy. Boy.
There's part of the brake rotor that I was talking about. When these cars hit the wall anymore, that's just the first thing that breaks.
We see him go down into the corner here. Biffle just makes the pass. And something definitely breaks a tire. Loses a tire, and that's all it took.
On board with Casey Kane.
Listen.
Yep. Right front tire.
No brakes on the 6. You saw him try to pull to a stop in his pit box. They had to raise the air hose. He just could not get the car to stop. What a tough break for this young man. They were only about 12 laps from pitting.
Thanks, Matt. So Casey pointed back toward the garage.
And now he's on pit road, so I don't think NASCAR can open pit road until they, okay, they're getting him off pit road now. Everything's okay.
So Casey Kane out of the race. And Greg Biffle is the leader.
I tell you what, this is a huge break for Biffle because the 6, 39, and 66 appear to have been the class of the field all day, and the 6 is gone. The 39 a lap down.
And not pitting back on lap 106 costs Ryan Newman. Matt.
And Reed Sorensen pulls to a stop, not expecting any adjustments to this 41 car. They feel like they have it right where they need it. All they do is pull a tear off the windshield. Dave.
Matt Kenseth comes in. He needs actually air pressure and chassis adjustment to the car for tire change. Marty.
Kevin Harvick in the middle of your screen. His car has been loose, so they're going to adjust by just putting 1 can of fuel in. That should make the car a little bit tighter. Alan?
Had some trouble on the right front on Greg Biffle's car. Let's see if that cost them a chance at the lead. You see that watch ticking away. 17, 18. That was not the stop they needed at this time in the day.
Absolutely not. Long stop for Biffle.
Was that 2 tires on the 60? Gained a lot of spots, did Carl Edwards.
We'll have to check for sure. David Green, the lucky dog in the 27 car. Here's Biffle. So the field under caution here at the Texas Motor Speedway. 33 laps to go.
NASCAR Busch Series Racing from Texas Motor Speedway is brought to you by Star Motorcycles from Yamaha. We build it, you make it your own. By Chase. Now you can earn double rewards on everyday purchases. Love the double from Chase. And by Just for Men. Targets only the gray for a natural look.
TNT Sports live at the Great American Speedway, Texas Motor Speedway, Fort Worth, Texas. Less than 16 laps to go. Kevin Harvick leads Greg Biffle, who has gotten around Carl Edwards into second place, but still trails Harvick by a 1.5 seconds. That's Clint Boyer in the 2, second in the championship standings inside of Bobby Labonte. Marty.
Bill, that is for the 9th position. What a rally this has been for Clint Boyer. And they can look back at lap 115 when they came to pit road, made 4 separate changes on the car, and finally made it drivable. At that point, the day looked pretty grim. Right now, he's only 1 spot behind Martin Truex Jr. Incredible comeback for this race team.
That's a good run, Marty. But The problem is, like I said earlier, I mean, Truex having a bad day is an 8th place finish.
Exactly
And
right.
in order for Bowyer to make up any points, Truex would have to have problems. That's why it's so tough to gain points on that 18.
And just 2 races remaining after we leave here. Phoenix next weekend and then Homestead.
Earlier in the day, Bowyer was almost 200 behind. So as Marty said, they did make up points, but they're not going to make up any ground, at least as they stand right now. Strong comeback, but still trailing Truex. Just 1 car between those 2.
Jason Leffler in the 32 looking to take a spot away from Labonte.
That's for 10.
Kenny Wallace between the 2 cars in 22.
Not cooperating very much. Hang in there, bud. You'll get him.
On board with Bowyer. Don't forget tomorrow, 3 o'clock Eastern time over on NBC. Race number 8 in the chase for the NASCAR Nextel Cup. Our coverage begins at 3 Eastern with the Bank of America Countdown to Green. We'll preview the race and we'll look at what's left in the chase.
And we'd seen the 66 car Biffle being so strong all day long running in the top 3, but guess what? He's not able to gain anything on the 21 cars. As a matter of fact, Harvick has gained about a half second on him in the last few laps.
On board with Biffle, he can see the leader, but can't get there, Alan.
Greg Biffle just not saying anything, Bill. You know he's knuckled down, trying all he can behind the wheel of that car right now. But when they lost that track position on the pit stop, that might have been the end of their hopes to win. Marty?
Alan Harvick came on the radio just a moment ago, said, man, this thing feels so much different out in this clean air. And they did make one adjustment, trying to loosen that race car, tighten that race car up for Kevin Harvick. They made a change on the 21 team this week. Rick Byers, longtime crew chief for Kevin Harvick in the Busch Series, is now gone. And Todd Berrier, his crew chief in the Cup Series, will now crew chief this car for the rest of the year and be the team manager for this car next year. 2 championship leaders right together, Bill.
That's Martin Truex Jr. in the 8, Clint Bowyer in the 2.
And the 90 car, Elliott Sadler, another position right in front of these 2 cars. So if Bowyer could pick this spot up and get by Sadler and the 8 car not, well, that's a gain for today.
Neither of these drivers able to lead a lap today. Bowyer to the inside.
Pretty strong right there. Truex not giving him a whole lot of room. Trying to pinch him down the bottom, but still come off side by side.
Now into 3.
And finally, he gets the spot away, does Bowyer. And here comes the 32 car to take the spot away, trying to take a spot away from Truex.
Might get blocked in here by the 78 car.
Alan, what's going on with the 8?
Plowing is the word that Martin just used to describe how his car is driving. He was just told by his spotter, Joey Meyer, big picture racing here. Try and save anything that they can for the rest of this race. And by the way, I haven't heard Kevin Mannion use any of those "you look like Dale Jr." things to try and pump him up.
So Bowyer trying to finish strong inside of 10 laps to go, and now 96 points behind Truex Jr.
Bowyer just took another spot away from Elliott Sadler, so that puts him 7th.
Truex just trying to hang on right now.
And there's another car, Johnny Sauter, the 1 car coming up behind Truex.
There's Johnny.
It'll be a battle for the, 10th position.
And Sauter made up a lot of ground right there in that corner.
And up front, Harvick by 1.7 seconds over Biffle. So we watch Truex try to protect his championship lead. Drifts high. Sauter drifting down low, Dave.
And that's where he likes to pass cars, Bill. He's run the high line a lot of the day just to find a good line for his car, but they made a wedge adjustment on the last stop. And Johnny's running the low line again, trying to get that spot. Alan?
Dave, when I talked with Kevin Mannion, Martin Truex's crew chief this morning, he said this racetrack was a concern for them. They did not feel like their mile-and-a-half track program had been all that strong. Then he shifted his conversation focused to Phoenix next week and Homestead, where the championship will be decided. He said, we're great at Homestead. I think we're really good at Phoenix, too. We've got to have a decent day today. It's sliding back right now, but it doesn't look like they're going to lose a ton of that 100-point lead they started the day with to Clint Boyer, and they're much more optimistic about the final 2 races ahead.
Right now trying to hang on to that 10th spot, Alan.
Whoa.
Oh, he's trying everything he can to stay in front of that one car, because we only have 4 laps to go.
Trying to protect the points. Keep an eye on that. Let's check on the leader, Kevin Harvick. 18 races this season, 8 finishes of first or second, 3 wins, 5 second place finishes for Harvick. There's Ryan Newman right in front of him. Newman is the last car on the lead lap. Started on the pole, dominated the race, did not pit on lap 106. There were 18 cars on the lead lap at the time, 17 pitted, but not Ryan.
And then later he had to stop on the green flag and stop the cars that had pitted, able to run some more laps. And guess what? Caution flag comes out. The other cars get to pit on the caution flag, leaves Ryan Newman a lap down.
So Newman with a strong run, but not the result he was hoping for. And his streak of wins will end at 5 in a row. He's won his last 5 starts in the Busch Series, was going for number 6 today. Truex has lost another spot. Sauter got around him. White flag for Kevin Harvick, last lap. We've talked about it throughout the day. Kevin Harvick's father-in-law passed away this week after a long illness. His wife, Delana, crash. J.J. Yaley. Caution is out. And the checkered flag is out. Kevin Harvick has won the race.
Jump, guys, off the jump.
Kevin Harvick wins the race. The winner of today's NASCAR Busch Series race is presented the Reese's Big Cup. Appropriate for Harvick. That's his sponsor. There's J.J. Yaley headed for pit road.
Looks like he just got loose underneath Paul Menard there. We saw that a little bit earlier today, where 2 cars run side by side going into the corner. The car on the bottom is normally the loser on that one.
It was Adrian Fernandez. Earlier today, ended up in the wall. Dave Burns.
With Todd Berry, the winning crew chief. Hey, you know, this Busch Series crew chief isn't too hard if you get some good stops on pit road, right?
Oh, man, this team, you know, they did an awesome job in the pits today. We got him out first a few times, and Kevin, you know, he drove from the heart today. I mean, Joyce, Judy, you know, Joanne, the whole Linville family back at home. You know, this is for Johnny.
And these guys really did work hard. Remember, they had mostly a top 5 car all day today. That last stop got him out first, got him in that clean air, and Todd showing the emotion of this whole team. It's a very close bunch.
The burnout along the front stretch. Started to say that Kevin's wife, Delana, constantly by his side around the racetrack on race weekends. There's Delana. Kevin waving to the fans along the front stretch here. We're waiting for NASCAR to figure out the finishing order. There are 8 scoring loops around this track. They will use the scoring loops and videotape to determine the finishing order. But Kevin Harvick is the race winner. His 4th win of the season. His 2nd win here at Texas in the Busch Series. Some of his crewmen, some of the competitors congratulating Kevin Harvick. Dave?
Clint Boyer getting some refreshment after the race now. A recovery could have been a whole lot worse today. Clint, talk about your day.
Yeah, you know, we started out really loose. Timberland Pro came on board for this race. You know, I'm glad we got to recover for him, but I just got it too tight right there in the middle. You know, I think a quarter of the way through the race, we were probably one of the fastest cars on the track moving up, Gil was saying, but just got too tight, being cautious, and told him to free it up and let's go for it at the end. So we gained a few spots, and you know, who knows? We're not out of it yet.
To Matt Yoakum.
And unofficially, Martin Truex Jr.'s point lead is 84 points. It was not one of the best of days, but you said this was a place you just had to survive, Martin.
Well, that's not how we want to run. We don't want to win a championship by, you know, running like crap all day. So it's disappointing. Our car was no good all day. We couldn't fix it. I mean, nothing we did helped it. We can make it real loose on new tires for 5 laps, and then it would just plow all the rest of the day. So it's frustrating. It ain't no fun to run 200 laps like that, but you know, overall, I guess not a bad finish, and we'll have some fun tomorrow, hopefully.
He finishes 11th, pulling double duty here, and he's looking forward to next week at Phoenix. Alan?
Greg Biffle, second again. Your thoughts?
I'm the king of second places. I'll tell you what, though, no problem to finish second to Kevin today. You know, we're real happy Kevin won. You know, he lost his father-in-law this week, and you know, we're all thinking about him, and we're making donations to the Victory Junction Game Camp in his name. And you know, Duraflame car was not the best car all day. I had about a third-place car, and Casey went out, and then Ryan got a lap down, and Kevin jumped up there, beat us out on the pit stop. I think that was probably the world's slowest pit stop there, but come in leading and go out third. But, you know, it's a good day overall. Learn some stuff for tomorrow, and that's what counts.
And he'll continue to chase the Nextel Cup Championship tomorrow. To victory lane.
Well, Alan, it's certainly been an emotional week for the Linville family and also for Kevin Harvick as he's had to deal with the loss of his father-in-law this weekend. But happy times right now in victory lane here at Texas for Harvick. For the 4th time this year, he wins in the NASCAR Busch Series. Well, tell me first of all, Kevin, about that last stop. You liked that clean air, didn't you?
Yeah. It's
the shower continues.
I tell you what,
It's Clint Boyer coming in. Congratulations. Obviously an emotional week for Kevin and his family. Brings in Delana and Richard Childress. John Paul Limble meant so much to so many people in the NASCAR Busch Series, especially longtime competitor in the NASCAR Busch Series, then the the Grand National Series around North Carolina, around the Kernersville, North Carolina area. And it's rough, isn't it? You can let it out, Kevin.
yeah, it's been a tough week, but I want to thank all these guys and my wife and everybody. It's been tough.
And I know that this victory means so much. We'll let Kevin enjoy this moment with his family and just let it all out. It's been a rough week for the Linville and the Harvick families, but they celebrate in victory lane here in Texas. Bill.
Thank you, Marty. A win he'll never forget. Here are the unofficial results from today's NASCAR Busch Series race. Harvick the winner. Heard from Biffle, Edwards third.
Reed Torrenson, good comeback for him. He was way back there at one time.
Clint Boyer in 7th. There you see Truex in 11th.
And Ryan Newman will finish 16th, and arguably the best car here today, but circumstances couldn't win. And a lot of trouble, these cars back here.
Take a look at the unofficial championship standings with 2 races to go. It's 84 points as we head to Phoenix. Tomorrow on NBC, the chase for the NASCAR Nextel Cup continues. NASCAR Nextel Cup racing from Texas begins with the Bank of America Countdown to Green at 3 Eastern Time on NBC. Next on TNT, it's LAPD Life on the Beat. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 on NBC.